Montana is just a gorgeous state, the people in it and the place physically, and being here, everywhere you look there's something to be inspired by, and I'm especially inspired by the skies. It's framed by the mountains, it's absolutely gorgeous. Constant food and energy, it's so dynamic and moving.
Having Montana roots in my family and being born here really helps me relate well to the students who I work with here too, because I'm an adventurous person, they're adventurous people. I'm willing to look across boundaries, they're willing to look across boundaries, and so we relate well to each other. Of course, we all have our differences, but these students are able to work with me and I think really feel at home.
I have received great mentoring from some of my professors when I'm faced with a decision, whether it's like what job to take or what's the best approach for a paper or for an assignment. I feel like I always have someone that I can go bounce my ideas off of. They can talk me through it from an objective standpoint.
The work ethic, most of the young graduates from college have grown up on farms and ranches, and when the tractor's broke and it's harvest time, you don't call a consultant, you don't form a committee, you just fix the tractor.
I try to think about why the Montana student is different, because I have taught in different locations, and I think part of it is the ruralness of where they come from. They live in an area that has these amazing wide open spaces, and so I think they think about limitless possibilities, which is really exciting.
My dad and I, we started this bicycle charity called Wheels of Change back in 2010. We collect bicycles in Billings and Bozeman, and we take and put them in a shipping container and ship them to Africa. Once in Africa, they become a sustainable economy for the communities and the villages that they are put in. And they become the mechanics and they become the owners of these little businesses that are bike shops.
Right now we're actually working on a project where students are helping me build what's called a LiDAR system, a laser radar system, that will fly in a small Cessna aircraft and fly around Yellowstone Lake at Yellowstone National Park, and we will be using it to help identify the location of invasive lake trout that threaten the native cutthroat trout. So this is an example of a project that is outdoors, but using very high technology instruments, and that's where we really shine in solving those kinds of problems.
As an educator, I feel like I have to use every opportunity I can. I even met someone on an international trip a couple months ago who was flying to Kiev to work in an incubator type environment, and he's going to work with my students in a couple of months and help them come up with amazing ways to present their mobile apps to possible venture capitalists.
An interesting example, I went into a digital marketing class, and one of the students commented that they can see these kinds of internet startup businesses, which is what we do, at the beginning and at the end. So you see the very first what we call two guys and a dog, and then you see the Instagram, outlier, $1 billion thing, but they don't often get to see the middle, and particularly the inside of the middle. So I went in and did a demonstration of our product. I think that's where you get the spark, where they see the connection to reality and the empowerment that they could go give this a go themselves and have a pretty good shot at making it work out.
The success we achieved at Right Now Technologies in growing that business would not have been possible without cooperation with Montana State University. We hired tremendous graduates out of the computer science program. We hired a number of people out of the business school. In the end, about 45% of our employees at headquarters were Montana State University graduates, and they were the backbone on which we built the business.
Well, Montana is a state of dreamers. When we first discovered gold in Montana, people came from all over the world. And they came to find gold, but most of them just found themselves. These Montana farm kids and ranch kids, these kids that come from small towns, they're ready to take on the world. You give them a couple of tools and they can build something, they can fix something, they can grow something, and they can change something. They're not scared of changing things. They've been changing things their whole life. Most of these places where you're going to these universities, they can't even change a tire. In Montana, we can change the world.
As an entrepreneur, I would eventually like to have paintings in museums that represent where I come from and what is most important in my life, and that will definitely be related to Montana and to the state. I would like to be, a small town Montana artist that made it big.